What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Check Swing Podcast. I had to remember to turn the music down this time, Miguel, because last time I said all this whole spiel. Here, word I said. So I had to cut the music immediately that time. Say what's up to the people. So what's going on, folks? It is the Check Swing Podcast. I'm trying to get everything back. It is the Check Swing Podcast. We are here on a different night. And if you are joining us, we want to thank you for joining us. Some weird sounds going on in my house right now.
Do you hear dead people?
I might be. I don't know. But yo, it's Super Bowl weekend. The Super Bowl is in just a few days, and we're going to discuss that amongst other things. But first and foremost, I got to ask my people how they been. So Miguel,
Sir.
It is the Check Swing Podcast. How you been, brother?
Been well, sir. This cold has been wreaking havoc on my arthritis. But other than that, huh?
You got a cold now?
No, the cold, like the cold Arctic air, not egg.
Okay.
No, it's just been reaping havoc on my arthritic knees. But other than that, everything's been well. Job's well. That's it. And it's almost spring training. What is it? 2 weeks till about a week or two till pitchers and catchers meet.
Something like that. I believe the Phillies left today. Actually.
Yep.
While I'm if you see me looking off camera, I'm getting myself together for a live stream on Fanbase on my Fanbase page. So if you're on Fanbase, check me out. Holla at me. You only do a 2-minute live on here? I never went live on Fanbase before, so. Well, I'll have to test that out before I just decide to do it because I thought maybe you could do it long. But anyway, it's been a couple weeks. We weren't able to be with you last week. I had an engagement where I had to. I was commentating a high school basketball game. Those things happen sometimes, and I actually was supposed to be at a basketball game tonight. But I'm not, and I'm with you. So here we go. Miguel, where do you want to start? Let you pick it today.
Well, we can kind of reminisce because we were going to talk about the championship games last week and how upset I was at both games, how they were coached or not coached. It was just disappointing, depressing. And something we'll touch on later, a slight interruption in the AFC Championship game that could reach, I don't know, somebody going to jail for their stupidity. But other than that, yeah, I guess we can kind of start there.
Okay, we can start there. I just want to give you a quote from the great Hank Aaron. Okay. Black History Month. Hank Aaron said, and I quote, "It took me 17 years to get 3,000 hits in baseball. It took one afternoon on the golf course." The legend, late great Hank Aaron, brother, I feel you on that one, okay? Takes me forever to. I'm terrible at golf. So we have a guest today. We have a friend of the program, as I like to say, who's joining us, and he's in his regalia. You're in your regalia. I'm the only one that's in here in my I like to call my house coat.
Your sweatshirt, you mean?
It's my sweatshirt, but it's my house coat. We have the head coach, the newly minted head coach of the Delaware Community College Phantoms, Mr. R. Hunter. Oh, excuse me. Coach Hunter, Coach Ryan Hunter is with us, so we're going to get him in here. Coach Hunter, we're going to go ahead and his background and because I don't want to look silly on here. So here you go right there.
Oh, see, we doing batting helmets?
Where's yours at? Where's yours at? Pull it out. Come on, Miguel. I know you got it.
his batting helmet on
Come on, Coach Center. I know you got it.
the next 2 weeks.
I'm gonna go old school and do the field hat underneath the. There you go. No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
You gotta go butt naked under the batting helmet.
To say the least.
Going
Yeah,
on here. Okay. So Miguel, I'm sorry. Take us away again on what we're talking about first, because I forgot to introduce our guest.
I guess the first portion is talking about the horrible coaching in both the AFC and the NFC championship games.
Right. Both of which being predicted incorrectly.
Now here's the thing. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I just thought it was really, really weird that all of a sudden, I never heard this before, where the referees called for an administrative timeout in the AFC championship game. And, of course, I'm thinking, okay, everybody's talking about that logo and how, it's red and it's purple. So that means it's going to be the Ravens and the 49ers. You know what I mean? That whole scripted thing for the season.
Yeah.
So it just felt like somebody had called in from New York and was like, we got to change some things. And then everything changed. Because there's no other excuse. I'm not even a Ravens. I'm going to bang something, okay? I'm not a Ravens fan per se. I am not a Lions fan per se. I just hate watching stupid football. I haven't been this mad since Seattle and the Patriots on the 1 yard line, and all you had to do was hand the damn rock off
to be
throw a pass
to the best running back in the game.
Best running in the game, not
that will probably be the dumbest move in the history of the NFL to me. Even dumber than handing the ball off when you should have nailed it down, and then Franco Harris gets the ball, whatever. That will always be dumbest play. Or was it Franco? What was the Franco Harris play?
That was the immaculate reception.
Yeah, the Raiders swear hit the ground. But
Miracle of the Meadowlands play.
Oh, you're Zonka, Larry Zonka.
No.
Pisarcik?
The Eagles and the Giants. Miracle of the Meadowlands, the first one.
Right. Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards, yes. That's who I was thinking of, Herm Edwards. I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't say like that. That's what I was thinking of. Herm Edwards. I don't know which one is dumber, to be honest with you, but I'm going to go with the one in the Super Bowl because it was worth a little more and you had a guarantee. I'm going to say it. You had a guarantee. Pete Carroll, you had a guarantee. What were you thinking? I would love to know what you was thinking on that play.
Well, it came out what he was thinking.
Did he say it? Because I know
it wasn't what he was thinking, but it was the logical explanation after hearing it from multiple people, including Marshawn himself, saying this was an attempt to cement Russell Wilson's legacy and an attempt to not give that shine to Marshawn Lynch. If an individual like that had received that type of notoriety, Pete wasn't going to say that.
From Carroll, because what you said is probably true. I want to hear it from him exactly what he was thinking in that moment, or what he will tell us what he was thinking in that moment.
He'll say it in another 10 years.
I feel like
he won't say it now.
But he definitely wouldn't say he didn't want Marshawn Lynch to have the moment. So I just want to hear what he would say.
You know what the funniest thing about what Marshawn Lynch said? He said, number one, he actually lined up on the wrong side of the line. That's why you see him kind of running on the opposite side. Right. And he said when he got to the sidelines, there was only one thing he had to say to Pete Carroll. He was like, that's what he had to say to him at the Super Bowl. I was like, wow.
But so
I remember I was at work. I was at work when that happened, watching the game at work.
we were having a church fellowship, and we had the game playing with all the men there. And I remember, like, I'd never seen so much chips just flung on the floor, plates and drinks. That's how upsetting it was. And I wasn't rooting for either team. Well, I was rooting for basically the Patriots not to win.
Right.
But to lose like that, you know what I mean? And, you know, kind of bringing it forward now when you see the Ravens, who were the best running team in the NFL, it's raining. And to me, I was like, it was Harbaugh just paying homage to Andy Reid and just, you know, I'm just going to throw the ball 60 times in honor of you. Like, you literally give your running backs 6 carries. 6!
8.
Okay. Yeah. And I think it was a total of what? 10 to 12 runs, and those were by
So
by
16 carries, 8 of them were Lamar Jackson. So
That's
half of the designed runs were for Lamar Jackson. 57 plays, 37 pass attempts.
Makes no sense.
None.
Now I think Harbaugh said something to the effect of, well, we decided to change things up because they had, you know, men in the box. I'm like, that's what everybody does when you're the best running team in football.
Right.
You counter that by, you know, running your sweeps and your counters and stuff like that. But it's like, it just befuddles the brain.
In 17 weeks, how many times did they encounter a full box? It's not rocket science. You line up your best against their best, and you see who wins. But John Harbaugh decided to take away what they do best and change the plan to pass more than 65% of their plays. It just didn't make sense.
So would you honestly say John Harbaugh took that away, or would you say Andy Reid took that away?
You're the head coach. You don't change your plan based on somebody else's movements.
But you do have to make adjustments.
Right. So they didn't make an adjustment. So they made an adjustment to pass in the first half of the game.
Passing was their adjustment, just didn't work.
They passed the entire game. So if it didn't work in the first half, would you not make an adjustment in the second half?
Did they defend
they kept passing the ball.
Right. And you know that when you know sometimes it takes a while to set up the run. You know what I mean? So you have to be patient with it. Sometimes it takes time. But again, even with that, like, you had the elements against you. Like, you don't throw in torrential downpours at times. You know what I mean? And it even got to the point where it was like 7 straight plays where it was just empty sets. And the halfback was just there to block. That's it.
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit.
I hate the devil.
Me too.
Shame the devil.
Y'all made me forget what I was going to say. Y'all made me forget what I was going to say. I don't like it.
Didn't we talk about this? You need ginkgo biloba, and maybe that testosterone from Frank Thomas, and was it Flutie?
I remember what I was going to say.
She'll love it too.
So, when you are running the ball, right, and you, as you said, it takes a while you're a running team. It takes a while to set that up, right? All true. My devil's advocate to that is, against the Chiefs, you may not have a while to set up your run because they can score. It wasn't a high scoring game that day, but you may not have time to set up your run. You might be 21 points in the hole before.
Justin, you are the best running team in the NFL. The Chiefs were they were like bottom 20 against the run or something crazy.
Yeah,
and that's why I said he was paying homage to Andy Reid, or like, I guess he has like pictures of Andy Reid on his wall that, you know, he buries himself in butter and worships or something, or whatever. It doesn't make sense. Andy Reid used to do that crap all the time, you know, And it always seemed to happen in bad weather. It's like, okay, this is the perfect time to throw McNabb 65 times, even though we're facing the worst run defense in football. It just doesn't make sense.
It was an Andy Reid outsmart yourself type of move. It was definitely that Andy Reid.
But it's like an epidemic though. Like it's not just it's across the board. Like coaches are trying to outsmart themselves every single week.
Well, so here's the other thing that I'll point to in that game, because Baltimore outgained Kansas City. There were two crucial points where Baltimore lost the game. Penalties.
Yeah.
8 penalties for 95 yards. So that's literally the length of a football field. You gave up 7 points right there, just in penalties. To the Kansas City Chiefs, 3 penalties. And then 3 turnovers lost, opposed to a clean game from Kansas City with no turnovers. That's where you lose the game. They outgained them in the air. They were even on the ground. So it was an even game. Both teams had the same amount of passing first downs, same amount of rushing first downs. Kansas City was obviously more efficient on third down, but it was literally an even game, other than time of possession, which resulted from the turnovers and the penalties.
Yeah, and Zay Flowers didn't help things out by fumbling on the half yard line and then simultaneously punt. No. Even before that, the stupid penalty. What did he do? He moonwalked on somebody's head, or he pushed off of somebody's face.
He taunted.
Taunted him, and I'm mad at him for that, but I'm also mad at the call. Like,
you got to let the guys play.
Yeah, you
gotta let them play. You gotta let them have a moment. You know what I mean? Like that. That one was like, come on, man, really?
Guys, remind me later in the show, since we're talking about let the guys play. Like, I want to bring something up later on in the show. It's about baseball.
I think I know what
we're going to
talk about.
I'm curious. I'm interested. I can't wait to get to that part. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Lions and their decision making. Who wants to tackle this one?
I'll let you go, dear brother.
Fire Dan Campbell. Fire Dan Campbell. I said it. Fire Dan Campbell. I'm at a loss. So I do like the fact that Dan Campbell is extremely aggressive. I love it. He is a player's coach, but there comes a time. It's great to do it during the regular season when it's almost meaningless. But these decisions that decide games and decide seasons, you have to give your best. You have to give your team the best opportunity to continue to fight. Like, you have to live on. And I believe he took that chance away from the Lions based on what he was doing. He didn't make, I'm not even going to say he didn't make good decisions. He made very bad decisions. He's made bad decisions. And we justify it by saying, well, this is who Dan Campbell is. So if this is the guy who is going to gamble away your championship, and don't get me wrong, it's great if it works, but it didn't. So it was quite possibly
genius, right?
It's quite possibly the dumbest decision possible, because you lose by 3 points. Like, you could have kicked the field. You were in field goal range. You could have kicked the field goal. You lived to fight another day. You lived to fight another down.
And didn't he do it twice?
You're telling me you don't have faith in your team. That's what you're telling me. You don't have faith in your kicker, and you don't have faith in your defense. I'm putting all my money on this offensive juggernaut, which was not really an offensive juggernaut. They got by a lot. I know it's going to sound crazy to say this. They were a lot like the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of the games that they won, they squeak by. Beginning of the season, they beat the Lions by. I mean, they beat the Chiefs by a point to open up the season. They beat the Packers barely. They soundly beat the Panthers. They skated by in some games that they probably shouldn't have won, and then they barely won some games that they should have blown out. They beat the Bears. The Bears, I think they beat the Bears by like 5. So there's games,
I give them a little bit of a pass on that though.
division game.
It's
I
a
mean,
division game.
Cowboys game. They should have beat the Cowboys. They
Shoulda
ended
beat-
up losing by 1, and that was another game where a bonehead Dan Campbell decision cost them a win. If they win that game, they're the number 1 seed, and that game is in Detroit versus being in San Francisco. Dan Campbell is a gambler, and I want to say that Cowboys game, they went for 2 at the end of the game and lost it.
Didn't get it. Yep.
Right.
Going for the win.
And Dan Campbell is a guy who goes for the win. I'm not against it, but I'm against taking the ability of your team to continue to fight. If they kick the field goal and they make it, which I know that it's not a guarantee that guys make field goals, but if they make the field goal, it's a tie game. Now you're putting onus on your defense, and you're putting the trust in your defense to go make a stop and get you the ball back. But now your defense has to go get you the ball back. They don't have a choice. They have to force a turnover, and you know San Francisco is only going to do the one thing that they're strongest at, and that's run the ball. You're not taking the ball from Christian McCaffrey. You gave your team 0 opportunity to win that game.
Yeah, I think like I was like in and out, I was like back and forth on both games. And when I saw the play, I saw the 3rd down, 4th down play, where the 4th down play where they didn't convert and they should have kicked the field goal. And I think I came in just on that play. And when they didn't get it, I didn't even realize it was 4th down until they said it.
I don't think Dan Campbell knew it was 4th down.
Huh?
I said Dan Campbell might not have knew it was 4th down.
He may not have. He may not have known it was 4th down. But and I saw and I was like, damn, they didn't go for that field goal. All right. Then I was like, they must be down the other end of the field. Like it must be over. They must be down the other end of the field. And then I saw how far San Francisco had to go. I was, what the hell? What were they thinking? What was going on?
It was like a 33-yard field goal. It wasn't a 55-yarder. It wasn't something that was so far out of range. It was a close proximity field goal. You are trusting your offense, who was effectively stalling out at that point. You're trusting your offense to get you yards when you should trust in your kicker to just tie the game.
It was unreal. It was unreal that they made that decision. I mean, was their kicker not good during the season? Like, did he? Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really follow Detroit that closely. So, I mean,
you would think
they trust the kicker?
Apparently not. Like, I don't think Dan Campbell trusted his kicker at all, because if you don't kick at that point, it doesn't make sense.
We would have had to have we'd have had to have a heart-to-heart after that game, quite honestly. I can't understand. Welcome back, Coach.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was trying to put this meme up that describes Coach perfectly that I just posted in the show.
Talking about that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about that one. Yo, are those 2 faces on the side? Did you even? I bet you probably.
I did not even notice that. Look at that voodoo over there. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
That's a little.
Oh, and it's on the nose, so it's like a Rudolph. Like it's
Justin would catch stuff like that.
I do. I don't, and I don't know why that type
He's like,
stuff.
is that the bust of Jesus?
Like, I don't know what that is over there, but so yeah, you know what? And you sent this to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sent this to me, and I don't know why I didn't get it until you just sent me until you put it up here. Because I saw it and I was just like, wait a minute. Because I know the price is right, but I haven't really watched the Price is Right since Bob Barker. But I know the price is right, and I'm going to spend again. But my mind was like, he's supposed to spend again. Like, but I forgot you can stop and all like that. I got
There's
you.
another-
He's a gambler, but I didn't realize how funny it was until just now.
There was another one that it had him at a blackjack table, and he said, "Okay, you have 20." He's like, "Hit me."
I saw that. Yeah.
So to give you guys some background on the kicker, Badgley, Michael Badgley was 100% on the season. He didn't miss a kick. Now he only kicked for 4 weeks, but he did not miss a kick at all. Their kicker,
The regular season, or
yeah. So Riley Patterson was originally their kicker. He got hurt, but he was 89% on the season. So your kick game was well over 95% on the year.
that will forever be a mystery to me.
I don't understand how you don't kick with a guy who hadn't missed a kick in his tenure with your team.
It will always be a mystery to me.
Was he
It would always
hurt? Maybe there's something that didn't come out. Maybe he was hurt. Maybe he was, maybe it was a flu game and he was in the bathroom. Maybe I don't know.
I'm saying none of that is the case.
I'm hoping that something was the case because I don't want to say fire Dan Campbell anymore.
Riverboat gambler. Tried to pull out the Doug. What's the Eagles coach who won the Super Bowl? Doug Peterson.
Dude, seriously? Seriously?
Leave me alone. I couldn't remember his name. I kept wanting to say Doug Campbell. It's not Doug Campbell. Doug Peterson.
How mighty the great have fallen. The one man who finally wins us a Super Bowl and we can't even remember his damn name.
He ain't make the playoffs this year.
who was the offensive coordinator for that team?
The great Frank Reich.
Unemployed.
The unemployed Frank Reich.
The defensive coordinator for that team might be unemployed too. I don't know what Jim Schwartz is. Where's Jim Schwartz?
I think
he's in Cleveland. He's in Cleveland.
I know he's in the AFC.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay.
They were the ones that got blown out by the Texans, right? In the wild card.
Yes.
Like blown out. Like
were
40,
they?
Yeah, it was like
45-14.
Yeah.
To the Texans?
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud.
Who did the Ravens beat? Oh, Ravens beat the Texans.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because they ran the ball. Sorry.
CJ Stroud wins just as many playoff games as Dak Prescott.
Oh, see, can you say that? Can you say that louder? Because there's this Cowboys fan that's ducking me. He refuses to call the show, but he sends me little texting nuggets about the Eagles, being on the same level as the Cowboys and blah blah blah.
Brock Purdy has won more playoff games than Dak Prescott.
It's too soon.
Same amount.
Breaking news: the Cowboys have hired former Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator.
Jared Goff has won more games in the playoffs than Dak Prescott.
And but you know what's funny? Wait a minute. No, maybe it's not. Let me ask you a question, Coach Hunter. Because something you posted years ago on Facebook, and you reposted it, not recently, but you have reposted it. And I just want to ask you if you still feel this way. Because I don't even remember who else was in it, to be honest with you. Is Dak Prescott still the best quarterback out of his draft class?
I am going to say
That
yes.
was your prediction, and you were right for a very long time.
I'm going to say yes.
Who else was in that?
Only because when we talk about careers, we talk about the entire career.
Okay.
And although he has playoff failures, I mean, we look at people like my favorite quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning. For a very long time, he could not get it done. And I'll never knock Peyton Manning for his postseason failures because of all of the success that he had throughout the year. Now, I know that it sounds hypocritical. I know that. I know it sounds hypocritical. But Peyton also did win 2 Super Bowls and got to 4. So it's not that he never got there.
So let me ask you this, because I don't think they were in the same draft class, but maybe they were. You taking Jared Goff over Dak Prescott today?
No, I'm not taking Jared Goff over Dak Prescott.
Taking, and I know they weren't in the same draft class. You're taking a man in LA that used to be in Detroit, Matt. I'm blanking on his name right now. Matt Stafford. Thank you.
So here's Dak's draft class: Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Jacoby Brissett, Brandon Allen, Jeff Driscoll, Jake Ruddock, and Nate Sudfeld.
I think he's a coach now.
And yeah, he is. And don't forget Paxton Lynch and Kristen Hackenberg.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna go that
He
way.
wasn't even going to mention.
Was Christian Hackenberg a Penn State quarterback?
Yeah, Penn State.
Yeah.
We know the history of Penn State quarterbacks. So.
Yes, it wasn't even gonna go that far. The only 2 that I even put in the conversation with him from that draft class are Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it. Carson Wentz was on a team that won a Super Bowl. And was an MVP candidate until he got hurt.
And lost his mental capacity shortly thereafter.
And then went to the Colts and was the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Same thing for the Commanders.
So
and then won against the 49ers a few weeks back, though, didn't he?
With the Rams.
With the Rams.
Yeah. So
I guess he thinks he's rejuvenated.
So I'll look at that class and say that Dak Prescott is still the best quarterback out of that class. And I think personally I've been pretty good at predicting best quarterbacks out of class. You know that I've reposted it a million times about Jalen Hurts. I truly believe that Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback out of that class, and I said from the gate that he would have the best career out of that class.
Who was in that class? I'll look it up while you finish this.
Joe Burrow. And again, Joe Burrow had immediate success. So a lot of people thought that I was crazy because Joe Burrow had immediate success in Cincinnati. Because that was the year. So Joe Burrow won that Heisman, even though the 2 previous Heisman winners did not have the stats that Jalen Hurts put up at Oklahoma. So Jalen Hurts had eclipsed both of those guys, but because he didn't win a national championship like Joe Burrow did, Joe Burrow got the Heisman, which made sense. I get it. It is what it is. It's, and I think you and I had
Joe Burrow had a heck of a damn senior year.
Yes.
Or final year, whatever that way. He had a heck of a year. Like, there's no taking it from him.
But again, so you and I had that conversation about Shaq. Like, the showmanship plays a big part in awards and accolades. And Joe Burrow was a showman. This guy, he's smoking cigars in the locker room. He's doing the Johnny Manziel money fingers. He put on a show, and Jalen Hurts went about his work.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna take it a different place.
What, that he was white?
Yeah, but hear me out. The media like seeing that from those people more than they like seeing it from our people.
Agreed.
Because when they see it from our people, it's a cocky, he's a show off and all like that. Johnny Manziel was putting up the money. Guess what? They love Johnny Manziel.
I thank Johnny Manziel for NIL. This would not have happened without Johnny Manziel.
Probably right. You're probably right about it.
Reggie Bush was not going to push it. Cam Newton was not going to push it. These prominent black athletes in college football who deserved every dime that they got, but they got it before it was of a legal means. It didn't make it any different. Johnny Manziel, we knew he was getting the money. They turned a blind eye to it. He's the number 1 draft pick, and then he comes out and tells y'all, yeah, I was getting paid the entire time. Of course.
So let me tell y'all, the draft class, the 2020 draft class was pretty good.
Loaded.
As far as quarterbacks, you got Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, and then you got Jacob Eason, James Morgan, Jake Fromm, Jake Luton, Cole McDonald, Ben DiNucci, Tommy Stevens, Nate Stanley.
Yeah.
After Jalen Hurts, you don't really. I think Jacob Eason.
That was the very famous Jalen Reagor draft.
So you heard the name Jacob Eason from me a million times because I put out there that he was a big Pac-12 quarterback, and we were trying to follow the mold of our previous big Pac-12 quarterback that we lost due to injuries. I try not to say his name; it still hurts. It still hurts. But Jacob Eason didn't even really get a shot with the Colts.
No, because y'all came back and drafted what's the name a couple years later.
Well, we picked up Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett balled out. We picked up Wentz. Then we picked up Phillip Rivers, and we had this history of just picking up old trash guys.
And I always felt like Phillip Rivers was one of the most overrated quarterbacks
of all time.
I said it. I didn't think he stinks or anything. I just thought he was a little overrated.
I want to see how many of his offspring become NFL players. What did he have? Like a big
17 of them. He's 17 of those kids are going to play in the NFL. I'm sure.
How many kids does he have?
I don't know. He probably got about a dozen.
At least.
Phillip Rivers has a.
That's why he might be overrated.
Well, first off, he still should be in the NFL because that's a lot of mouths to feed.
A lot of mouths to feed. You playing for a different reason.
Man.
All right, let's talk about the game. We've been at it for almost 40 minutes, y'all.
The big game?
Talk about the game yet.
Big game.
Who y'all got and why? Miguel, let's start with you.
Well, first off, I just like to say for the record that it should be the Ravens and the Lions, and I would have picked the Ravens. But since you're giving me this Taylor Swift rematch, it's sad because it's frustrating. It's not sad. It's frustrating because I usually like to pick the underdog in this, right? In this game when my team isn't in it or my teams aren't in it. But I don't. If the Chiefs run the ball, they win the game. I'm not going away from that stance. But Purdy has really shown me a lot during these playoffs. Just from his decision making and his grittiness and being able to kind of stay in the pocket, take the hits, and still make the throws. I think I'm hoping for a good game if I decide to watch it. But I'm gonna lean towards the Chiefs for experience because I just have a feeling that that Brock Purdy is going to probably throw the ball 75 times. Just a hunch.
Coach Hunter.
I've got the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes has to get that MVP money to get his daddy out of jail. So there's extra incentive involved to make this happen. Third DUI, he might get sent away for a long time with a third DUI. So I do believe Patrick Mahomes plays with some extra incentive. He goes out there, he hires Andy Reid's lawyer, who took care of things with Andy Reid's drunken son, and we keep it all in the family. Chiefs by 14.
He went to jail, didn't
He went to jail for a lot less time than he should have got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because isn't the kid like a paraplegic now? Like,
yes.
like, yeah, she's on the apparatus, like she's immobile, like she's from the neck down, she's paralyzed.
And he's out of jail.
And he's back on the Chiefs coaching staff.
And mind you, I believe that's not his first incident.
It was not at the time.
It was not his first
At the time, right? Because I think he was a coach under the Eagles. Didn't he brandish a gun out in like King of Prussia or something? Somebody had rear-ended him, and he brandished the gun.
He's a wild boy.
I don't know how many kids he has, but he has kids that have history here.
No. Since he's Mormon, I want to know how many wives he has. Because the Mormons, they like, sister wives. You know what I mean?
I'm not digging into that one.
Mormons do that?
Yeah. You never watched that show on what channel does that show come on?
I don't. My wife watches it. I think it's like it's called.
Yeah,
Sister Wives, and then they go out and they introduce the potential wife.
I didn't know I didn't know that was the reasoning behind it. That it was. I didn't know it was a Mormon thing.
Yeah.
I just thought they were just polygamists that happened to be Mormon. I don't really watch the show, so I don't know. I watch.
So being a Mormon apparently allows it. It's favor of God to be fruitful and multiply.
I don't want to offend any Mormon people that maybe watch. Are Mormons allowed to use the computer? No, that's
Scientology. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. No. I'm joking.
You're thinking
I'm sorry, Tom Cruise. It's not Scientology.
You're thinking of
Scientologists, and they can't use a computer. I'm thinking of
Amish.
But they probably use computers and stuff.
Man, I saw an Amish dude with an iPhone the other day, man.
Yeah, I saw one at a farmer's market, and she was like, "Excuse me, Ezekiel, how much is the corn where you're at?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Hezekiah,
Obadiah, get the hell over here! Yeah.
Well, welcome to the last episode of the Check Swing Podcast.
We've offended 3 religions and 2 races in a matter of 4 minutes.
And look, I'm gonna throw this in there. I was only invited on the show because I called out the blatant discrimination by Miguel with his post online. That's all.
So we've offended religions, we've offended races, or we were racist or something, and then
no, and I'm a discriminatory sexist apparently.
And Miguel is a discriminatory.
And at my job, I'm the co-chair of the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Council.
Cancel Miguel. No DEI for you.
It's been one, Miguel.
It's been real.
It's been one, buddy.
Hold on, let me take this helmet off. I don't need nobody knowing where I work. Let me take that off.
You were just under contract, sir.
All right, so
that was a good first year.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Coach Hunter. So used to you being having.
Dude, you do that all the time. It's like we try to maintain our alien. He would be terrible at wrestling because he would be like Sean Levesque. I mean Triple H. He would just call everybody by their real name by accident.
So, if you ever listen to me commentate, I usually don't say.
You don't say what?
Players' names. Unless I unless I just know them like personally for some reason, I rarely say the players' name. I
So
almost never say the players' names on the opposite team. But there's a reason for it. I'm never given a roster. I don't know the names. So if I was given a roster like ahead of time or something like that, I could look at the names and figure it out. I'm not given any of that. So I just got to go for what I know and try to look on my partner's roster real quick while he's like taking notes. I don't really see. And you know I'm terrible with names, Miguel.
Horrible. Absolutely atrocious.
So all that being said, I know both of Coach Hunter's names.
And he always says all of your names on air at least twice, at least 2 episodes a month.
Probably right. But Coach Hunter, your prediction was what?
San Francisco, the Chiefs by 14. Patrick Mahomes MVP.
And Coach Miguel, your prediction was also Chiefs?
If they run the ball, the Chiefs will win by 5.
So now I have to push you a little bit, Miguel.
Why?
Because you kind of hedging your bet here. Picking the Chiefs if they run the ball.
Correct. Because
will they run the ball?
Now we're getting deep.
I paint you in the corner a little bit.
Here's the thing. Andy Reid is a smart enough coach. I think now he does whatever he needs to do to win. When he was with the Eagles, he did whatever he needed to do to prove to the world that he was the greatest coach of all time. So I think because he's won a couple of Super Bowls and now he knows what that's like, now he's kind of chasing, there's talk of him now trying to chase history and, could he be the modern day Belichick or whatever?
He's 6 playoff wins away?
Something close like that. But if he's going to do this thing right, he's going to do what he needs to do to win. So that's why I think I'm leaning Chiefs. He's going to do what he needs to do to win.
So are you picking the Chiefs?
Yes. If they run the ball.
So
if they don't run the ball, are you taking the 49ers?
All day, baby. All day. If I see that, if I don't see one run in the first 2 series, they're done. Game's over. Chiefs.
So let me paint you in another corner.
I feel like I'm being attacked.
You're hedging your bets. I gotta have fun with you. If the Chiefs do not run the ball, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, but I'm going to let you answer the first one first. If the Chiefs run the ball, are you going to come in here next week and say, I told you I picked the 49ers?
Yes.
Because essentially that's what you're doing. If they don't run the ball, you're picking the 49ers.
Correct.
Well, hold on. So let me change mine. If Patrick Mahomes Sr. gets out of jail before the Super Bowl, then the 49ers win. Because Patrick Mahomes has nothing to play for.
I'll take that any day of the week.
All right, now let me ask you this, Miguel, because you're playing around with the algorithm. If the Chiefs win without running the ball, will you say, I told y'all the Chiefs was going to win? That's who I picked.
Absolutely. Dude, listen. Life is not fair, okay?
You have to. So if you go to a casino and put a quarter on one of the teams, which team you putting the quarter on?
I'll lean Chiefs.
He's picking the Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Yogi Berra. 50% of the game is 90% mental.
Lord.
I'm also going to go with the Chiefs, but it's only because I'm picking with my heart. I do not like the 49ers. I don't want to see them win. I hope they get trounced. Be completely honest.
Is it because they whipped up on the Eagles?
No, has nothing to do with the Eagles.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the Eagles. I just hope they get trounced. If they don't get trounced, if they win, congratulations. No hedging of the bet here. No caveats. Nothing. I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. I don't have a point spread for you, but Coach Miguel said 5. Coach Hunter said 14. So I'm gonna go with 8.
Gonna split the difference.
You said what?
Says you're gonna split the difference.
Split the difference in a sense. Chiefs win by 8.
I need you to go to DraftKings and lock that in.
Dude, I don't want to hear draft. I made 5 bets all season, lost them all. Right? Look. First game of the season, what was it? Jets and whoever they were playing. I had Aaron Rodgers throw on 150 yards passing. He tears his Achilles. The very next week,
You took the promo, didn't you?
huh?
You took that promo bet on Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
I knew something was up when they said that if he throws over like 100 yards, then you win like $50.
Then the following week,
A live podcast. Hold on, gentlemen. I'll be right back live. Jesus Christ.
Anything can happen when you go live. Then the second week later, I believe it was the Cleveland Browns and whoever. I think it was the Browns and the Steelers. Nick Chubb had to run for 75 yards. He ran for 70, broke his leg in half. And then the third week after that, somebody else tore their ACL. I can't remember who it was. I think it was somebody on whatever team. So that's 3 weeks in a row. Easy bets. I lost them all. I have not bet since. I'm not even betting on the Super Bowl.
I haven't placed a sports bet in quite a while, but the last one I remember making that I lost, and I was hot. And Coach Hunter will tell you because he knows about the bet. I bet when and Coach Hunter is back, and Coach Hunter, you'll remember this. I bet when the Heat and the Lakers were playing each other in the finals in the bubble. I bet on Jimmy Butler and said he was going to score like 22 points or 23 points. And Jimmy had been on a tear. 22 points for a superstar in the finals. I'm not going to say it's
almost a lock.
But it's almost a lot. Yeah. Was at 1 point from scoring what he needed to score, and he was at and he missed the foul shot. And actually, here's why here we go again. Here's why Coach Hunter will remember this, because he was the one that told me it happened, because I was on my way home. I think I was working at All-Star at the time. No, I was.
Damn, he was so confident. He didn't even watch the game. Damn.
I was working with you at the time, Miguel. I was working at MSI. I was coming from practice because the finals was in the fall or the end of the summer or something like that.
Right.
And we had started up at MSI. I'm on the phone with Coach Hunter. He's telling me about the game, what's happening in the game, and he was the one that told me that Jimmy didn't get the points. And I would have got a lot of money on that too.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
At least everybody that you bet on 3 consecutive weeks in a row didn't tear a muscle or break a leg.
Well, I will tell you this. I no longer team or against. I no longer bet for or against my team, any of them. And I'm gonna tell you the last time I bet. So Delaware Park has, if you're not aware, Delaware Park, you can place a bet on every game of the week. Okay. And Coach Hunter, remind me, if you win, you get 10,000 or something like that.
$100,000.
$100,000.
$5 for $100,000. You got to get you have to get 15 games right.
Let me shift my seat a little bit. The one game I got wrong. This was opening week. I forgot what year it was. So before I was married. One game I got wrong. Eagles Jaguars opening day. I said, I think it was like a 10-point spread, 10 and a half, something like that, right? And Miguel, Coach Hunter knows him. Miguel, you might remember the guy we had on the show, Mike Knox.
Yes, yes.
All right. Mike Knox had two main rules, and well, I guess he don't have both of them now, but two of his biggest rules. Number one, Peyton Manning always covers. Almost damn near all the time, Peyton Manning covered. Other rule was 10-point spread, double-digit spreads are disrespectful. So I followed the rule. Eagles up by 7, 8, whatever it is, right? Jaguars have the ball. Time running down, okay? They're moving the ball on the Eagles. Even if they score, I don't think they can win. A fumble happens. I think Brandon Graham, somebody picks up the ball, runs it in for a touchdown. They win by like 13 points. Something like that. I got every other game right on that card. I got every other game right on that card, except for the Eagles game. And that's when I said, that's it. Because I've never won a bet when I bet on my team. Never.
Yeah.
For or against. Never won. And I will never do it again.
My favorite thing, and the reason why I stopped betting on the Eagles, is because every time the prop bet was like 50 to 75 yards, they would get to like 5 yards away, and then all of a sudden that running back would not run the rest of the game.
Yeah, they would do that.
Because I had Swift at 75 yards. He ran 65 yards. Didn't see him in the second half. I had
bring Deuce Staley back, please. Running back coach. Bring Deuce back, please.
Never.
Because they disrespected him. That's how I felt.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, he's because he tells everybody about themselves. They don't want that.
He just got a new job. He's with the who's he with now? Is it Carolina? He just got a new job. He just got picked up as a running back.
I just saw he got hired, but I don't remember what team he went to.
I think it was Cleveland. It was Cleveland. Yeah, it was Cleveland. Cleveland Browns hired Deuce Staley to be their running backs coach. All right, so we're all picking the Chiefs. Unfortunately, I don't like how that sounds, but Miguel, let's get to the dummies. You already had one.
Well, two. So the pre-dummies were the coaching staffs of the Ravens and the Lions.
Head coach.
Yeah. All right. So the I guess dummy of the month, if you will, is Matthew Herbert. 44-year-old male from the wonderful state of Pennsylvania, who was hit with 3 felony counts for allegedly operating an unregistered drone during the Ravens and the Chiefs AFC Championship game. Now, he claims, he was flying it using this app that usually tells him the areas that are, that are secure and he couldn't fly over. Allegedly, the app did not work, and that's when you got the call during the game for that administrative timeout, which I've never heard of before. And that's where I thought the fix was.
Oh, is that why that happened?
Correct. It was because of that drone.
I did not.
So they said, illegally operating drones in unregulated areas, because you have to actually register your drone, in certain areas.
That's something I did not know as well. I did not know you have to register. I didn't crash 2 of them, so I didn't really have a chance to. But
right. So they say during public or during mass events, like during games or concerts, that's when they add restrictions, so you can't fly drones in and around those areas. But when they're empty and nothing's going on, they say have at it. So, but he claims that the app didn't stop him, so he just kept flying it. He violated the national defense airspace and operated a drone without a certificate, and he could be facing up to anywhere between 15 to 20 years in prison.
Wow.
So yeah.
So Justin, just to let you know, the drone that you own will not allow you to fly over highways. It will not allow you to fly by stadiums, hospitals, any federal buildings. It will shut down and it will automatically ground.
Will it come back to me?
Yeah.
I don't want it to ground and I don't know where it is.
It'll land on top of like a pizza.
It'll come back to you if you set it to home. If you don't have it set to return home, it will ground where it is because it's entered restricted airspace.
Right.
Better print out some instructions.
I'll help you. I'll help you through it.
Like I said, I've crashed 2 drones, but I got those both from a website where you're able to buy things for a decent price. And
you got the Family Dollar drones? Is that what?
Temu.
You could say that.
I love Temu.
It was something similar. But now I have like a real nice drone, thanks to RDOT and his business acumen. But I'm scared to use it. To be honest, I bought this drone over. I'm scared to use the doggone thing. Ain't been out the bag yet.
Just as long as there's no
for, 2 years now?
Maybe more than that. I don't know.
Damn, dude. As long as you're not over, just make sure there's no concerts going on, no sporting events, and you're fine.
So when they say sporting events, I mean, if I register it, I'll be okay though. And fly over that.
No. Because during those events, you won't be able to fly over that airspace. It'll become restricted once the event.
Restricted airspace.
Well, right. Here's the problem that I was running into, and I would probably have to look into it. Where I live, where I lived, but where I would fly my drone, I was within a certain radius of the Philadelphia International Airport, and I wasn't supposed to be flying a drone anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, federal government. I wasn't.
You were just too busy crashing it in the buildings.
I was crashing it. I was crashing it. I wasn't really flying it.
Lord.
And that drone I wasn't supposed to fly when the wind was more than 11 miles an hour.
And it was like 65 that day.
I'm flying on a hurricane.
Now, are there wind restrictions on this drone I have right now?
Yeah, but I think it's like 35. It withstands a lot because it's a professional drone, so it's heavy.
And that which is another reason I'm scared to fly it. All right.
The controls are the same.
You want to go to would you rather?
What's his name again?
Matthew Herbert.
Matthew Herbert.
It just
Justin Herbert.
And do you think that administrative timeout had any effect on the game?
It was too early in the game. I mean, I think it was a tie game at that point. I think when the timeout came, so I don't think it really did.
I don't even remember that. Like I said, I was in and out again. I didn't even know about the administrative timeout till y'all said something earlier.
I thought it was just going to be a normal TV timeout, but when he said this is an administrative timeout, and I think I heard who was on that. Was that Olsen doing the color on that show, or was that And you know how and he's like he said out loud, he was like administrative. I never heard that before. And then they cut, and then the commercials were like there was like 2 or 3 extra commercials. So I'm like, what the hell's going on?
So, I mean that was like they went into emergency protocol. That's what it sounds
like. Right. And then when they came back, they said, all right, we had an administrative timeout due to a drone. And then they asked to reset the clock, and then that was it. Then the game just kind of went on. So I gave the coaches plenty of time to figure out how to remove the running game from their gameplay.
Yeah, just take it out of the gameplay. Let's not use it anymore. Let's not use it.
Let's not use it at all.
All right. Do we have anything else we're supposed to hit? Because we just have a good conversation tonight.
Would you rather?
Oh, yeah, let's do the would you rather. Okay. So y'all know, if y'all watch the 10-7 show, y'all already know that there is a segment that we have stolen from the 10-7 show called Would You Rather. And it's
Let's not use the words. Let's not use the word steal. I would like to say repurposed.
we repurposely stole the Would You Rather segment from the 10-7 show, which in turn the 10-7 show stole it from everybody else that uses a Would You Rather in any situation. So here you go. Yes, it is the Would You Rather portion of the show. And the Check Swing podcast does not have a sponsor for Would You Rather. So if you want to sponsor it, just hit us up at newtwistradio@gmail.com.
There you go.
Or ntr@gmail.com. Or go to the website, newtwisradio.com, and hit the email thing and send us an email. Miguel, go ahead.
So the first Would You Rather, this is a paying in homage to Campbell and the lines. Would you rather ensure overtime or risk losing and win in regulation? I'm beating this dead horse.
That's funny. Like, you worded that very funny. Because you didn't say or go for the win. You said risk losing. So the way
that was essentially his choice.
The way you worded the question, I would have to say I would go for overtime.
The smart choice would be to go for overtime.
America has spoken. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to choose go for overtime because I'm smart.
And you use common sense, and you're educated.
Somebody hire me today.
There you go. Fire Dan Campbell. So I'm on the Fire Dan Campbell train. Damn it. All right. So this one's cute.
Somebody trained though, Miguel. You know, you like to get rid of people quick. You don't play around.
You don't win, you're gone. All right. Speaking of winners, okay. So would you rather?
Yeah, he's been there.
Huh?
He's been winning more and more every year he's been there.
Would you rather have a shoe named after you or an award named after you?
What was the first? A what named after you?
A shoe. Like Jordan. A shoe named after you or an award named after you?
I'm going to go with the award. I'll explain it why if you want me to, but I'll let everybody answer first.
Okay.
So I'm going to say shoe, and I'll explain why after you explain why the award.
I would go shoe too, for the simple fact that I think I would get a higher return in my pockets because of it. So why the hell not? I'd rather, getting a plaque, or a name on a stadium or whatever, that's cute, but I don't think I'll get as much money to retire on.
You're probably right about that. So I said an award because for a few reasons. First of all, the award, let's say you put my name on the Grammy Award, right? The Justin Watson Grammy Award, right?
Like the Dr. Dre Global Achievement Grammy.
They're going to be giving that award away for quite some time, maybe forever. We don't know, right? Maybe well beyond our lifespan, okay? So my name will always be there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, somebody's going to win that award every year. My name is going to be said every year. From here to, I'm going to say eternity, right? The shoe, even though it would be really cool to have your own shoe, right? For your shoe to really mean something, it's going to have to be popular. It's going to have to want to be bought, right? People are going to have to want to buy that shoe. And then at some point, that shoe is going to go out of style, right? Unless you're like a Michael Jordan or something like that, and you can bring back your shoes and sell them again for ridiculous amounts of money, and you only have 12 pair in the entire world, right? But there's a lot of things that have to go right for your shoe to continually be, mentioned and worn and all like that. So I'm going to go with the award because my name will ring bells for a long time, no matter how popular or unpopular I become.
So I'll explain mine. So I went with shoe, and I went with shoe because it didn't say an athletic shoe. So when you think about shoe, like you think about style. And I think about a pair of shoes that I had for a very long time. Stacy Adams. I had some Stacy Adams. Is that me? What is that? Somebody let out the air of a balloon?
Me.
Somebody let out some air somewhere.
That might have been me, but
but also on the flip side of that, I would not want it to be an award because it also didn't say that it was a prestigious award. And I'll go back to Matthew Herbert because we just gave out an award that is the dummy of the day. And just imagine us giving out long term the Justin Watson Dummy of the Day award. You would forever be associated with a dummy.
But let me push back a little bit. What if we called it the Fred Sanford Dummy of the Day award?
No, but it would have to be Lamont because he was the dummy.
Lamont was the dummy.
but you're not necessarily calling the person the dummy.
We call it the dummy.
We are calling him a dummy.
We called every last one of them a dummy.
You say Lamont Sanford Dummy today. Yeah, he was being called the dummy all the time.
Right.
Fred
So
was being called the dummy. He
the
called
award is synonymous with the dummy, not the person who calls the dummy the dummy. So, like, I would petition that we change it to Jussie Smollett Dummy of the Day.
No, I don't want his name on my show.
He the biggest dummy I could think of.
Actually, they're trying to get him back in court.
What did Chappelle call him?
Smollett. They're actually trying to get him back in court.
For what?
They're trying because there's something about and don't quote me word for word, but there's something about he took a deal. Okay, he took a deal and he served whatever he had to serve. Now there's like some pressure trying to get him back in court to be found guilty on it to serve some time. But he took a deal. You take a deal, you're pleading guilty.
Double jeopardy. We can't go back for the same thing.
Double jeopardy. So I mean, he's going to fight it. He's fighting it. But yeah, they trying. I think it's wrong. It's double jeopardy. That you can't. Yeah, like if they do that, then you're going to set a precedent. OJ's going to be back in court.
What?
Barry Bonds is going to be back on trial.
George Zimmerman will be back in court. I don't know.
I don't know why OJ. He was found not guilty by a member of his peers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got one more? I thought you had three.
Yeah, I do have one more. Let me see. Would you rather? Okay. Would you rather be an average player with a good reputation or an elite player with rumors of cheating?
That's easy for me. Good player with rumors of cheating.
No, elite.
Elite. I'll be good with rumors of cheating. Just give me the chance to be a player. I'll take elite.
There you go.
Give me the elite player with rumors of cheating because they only rumors.
Right.
True. I would probably take the low and just go good reputation because I just don't feel like dealing with all the press.
Here's the thing though.
Put me in front of a camera.
When you're elite gets the money.
This is true.
Gets the money. Now, the average players are needed for the elite players to be elite.
This is true too.
Let me get the money. Let me get the statue outside the stadium. Let me get the TV show where I can't act. The sitcom where I can't act. Let me get the cameos in movies where I can just be myself. And I get like one line, like Dan Marino. Donald Trump did in Home Alone 2.
Hey, Ace, come over here. Look at that.
Let me have a career where I can make money in other ways just for being me. I'll do it.
Einhorn's a man.
All right. I like it. I like it. Miguel no longer stumps me. He got tired of me guessing all of his stumped questions correct.
He was on I think you were on a streak of like 12 in a row.
Nah, there was one week I just could not get it. Like if it takes me more than like a couple minutes to get it, I don't really count it. It don't really count to me. But with that being said, I do want to I'll throw a couple questions out there for you guys. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
6.
6. Okay, all right, pick a number between 1 and 10 again.
6.
Okay, here we go. It's a multiple choice. Your choices are Joe DiMaggio, Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, the entire National League. Your question is,
Well, that's out.
Yeah.
here's the question. Who batted 303 in 1930?
Jimmy Fox.
Coach Hunter says Jimmy Fox. Who do you say, Coach Miguel?
You said the other options were the entire National League, Jimmy Fox.
Joe DiMaggio and Babe Ruth.
It would either be I would go. Let me go the entire National League.
Right. So we'll go with Jimmy Fox first. Let's see. Fox is incorrect. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but Jimmy Fox was incorrect.
Then it's got to be the National League.
Let's go. Let's see what they say with the entire National League. Like my pick would have.
Because 1930, it definitely wasn't Babe.
I would.
Well, no, because Babe. It could have been Babe because he retired in 35.
But he wasn't hitting over 250.
He wasn't.
His career.
And Joe DiMaggio didn't start until about 38 or 39.
But I would have been wrong because I had to pick Joe DiMaggio. So here's the entire National League. The entire National League batted over 300 in 1930. I guess y'all probably didn't hear that ding. I don't know if y'all heard that or not.
We heard nothing.
No.
I need to recalibrate my settings over here. But but the entire National League in 1930 batted over 3. Wait a minute. So like I'm not really understanding that.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As a whole,
all the teams in the National League together, yeah.
Combined. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that to me because math is not my forte. All right.
I know. We took that class multiple times together.
And still almost didn't get out.
I failed Algebra 1. Does that count?
Yes.
Sweet.
Absolutely. Because whatever we were failing, it might have been Algebra 1. It wasn't like that. It wasn't anymore. It wasn't calculus or
no, it was
trigonometry or anything.
I want to say it was called college mathematics 1.
Yeah, it was basically that. It had some alphabet and fractions and decimals in it. Here and there.
It had letters, the little squiggly. Yeah, I got you.
Can't stand it.
I thought it was English.
You thought it was Latin. Is this Hebrew?
That's why he was writing Roman numerals. So it is what it is. Look, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all for hanging with us on the Check Swing Podcast here on Super Bowl weekend or approaching Super Bowl weekend. We'll talk to y'all next time where we talk about the Super Bowl and we're like, the Chiefs didn't run the ball, so Miguel no longer was picking the Chiefs, or they did. And that was my other question. If they don't run the ball and win, who are you saying you pick?
You can't let this go, can you?
No, because I meant to ask earlier, but I think I forgot.
What was the question?
If they don't run the ball and win, who are you saying you pick?
If the Chiefs do not run the ball and they still win, then I still have the Chiefs.
Just asking. Just asking. Just want to know. I'm just trying to anticipate what you're going to be saying next week on the show.
Whoever wins this game is the one that I pick.
So let me go back. So the 49ers are going to win.
We're supposed to be ending the show.
The 49ers are going to win by 3 because Patrick Mahomes Sr. got out on $10,000.
That's
So
Oh,
They're gonna
is that breaking news? He got out?
he's
Or
out on bail. He's out on bail. So
right now?
so the 49ers are going to win.
uh-oh.
So Chiefs are going to win because he's going to play his heart out. Like, this is for you, Dad.
And he's gonna muck it up.
This is for you, Dad. I did this for you.
We had to do other predictions like how long Usher's set is gonna be, how many times they pan over to Taylor Swift.
Oh, I guarantee. Like, I feel like I already know. Like, there's probably a Taylor Swift watch.
There's a camera.
She has a concert.
Well, so she has a concert.
There's a concert in Japan, but they were saying that she plans on getting to the game.
She's flying. So I heard that they brought the Concorde out of retirement just for Taylor Swift.
So that means she's gonna die. She's gonna die in the Pacific.
So let me
Become-
Not for that. My apologies.
That was bad.
That was poorly timed, sir.
I'm watching the LSU Eunice versus Monroe junior college baseball game. So I apologize. Monroe just took the lead in the top of the 6th. So
Dude, you like damn near punched the camera in excitement. I was like, wow.
in no way, shape, or form do I want to see any harm done to Taylor Swift. No.
So I was going to say like, wow. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but here's what I was going to say before that. I fully expect for them to have like a Taylor cam.
Oh, of course.
Like it may not like be in the picture-in-picture type deal, but they might say like there's going to be like camera following her into the game or coming from the airport or something.
Here's the Concorde landing in the airport.
Say again?
Here's the Concorde landing in the airport.
Yeah, something like it will probably be something like that. Yeah.
Exploding on the tarmac.
Here you go. Let me get us out of here for you get us kicked off the internet.
I'm sorry.
All right. Look, we gonna get up out of here. Appreciate y'all checking out the Check Swing podcast here on New Twist Radio. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Go to the YouTube channel, New Twist Radio. YouTube.com/New Twist Radio. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on Twitch right now, is it subscribe? Hit the follow, whatever it is on Twitch. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Subscribe.
Huh?
I think it's a subscribe button on Twitch.
I can't remember. They changed it a couple times though. But either way, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We will talk to y'all next time here on the Check Swing podcast.
I just speak for the people. Taylor Swift.